everybody, and welcome back to my Queensland road trip series. So guys, if you are new here, it is a pleasure to have you as well. My name is Laura and I've been tripping around Queensland for probably about the last 4 months now in my little car, absolutely loving it. So guys, the video I want to share with you today is actually a national park adventure, but I thought I would kick it off this morning where I am camping here on the Gregory River. So where I'll be going today is Boodjamulla National Park, as it's traditionally known, or you may have heard of it as Thornhill Gorge. So really beautiful Thornhill National Park. I've seen pictures. If you've seen pictures, it looks incredible, and hence why I'm willing to drive myself all the way out there, because it's not very close, let's say, to anything. It's really a bit of a trip to get out there in itself. I wouldn't do it just for a day trip sort of thing. So I will be camping out there for a few days and I will be sharing that with you guys. So unfortunately I just stopped as well, as in just before I headed out here. And this other lady with their camp set up goes, "Oh, I would not head out there in that." And I was like, with disrespect to my poor little car, I'm so offended. But honestly, she's probably right. It's probably not recommended, as you guys are about to see. We're going to see how we go. So I'll let you know, see if we make it out there. 40 kilometers in and we are still going strong. So as you can see, the landscape really hasn't changed that much, which surprises me a little bit. Obviously, all this Gulf Savannah outback country isn't going to change greatly. Well, a lot of the property that I'm basically driving past out here is obviously cattle property, so a fair few cattle grids. It's all unfenced sort of road. Alright guys, so I've hit almost the 85k mark and we have a problem. So this last section just got a lot rockier, and my tyres are pretty had it basically from all yesterday from the rocks and this section, so I must have just hit something that my tyres don't like. So I've got a flat on the back passenger side. I don't really want to change it. I've got a spare which I can change, but I'm gonna give a go. I've got one of those cans which should sort of seal it up. I'm not sure what they're called. I'll grab it out in a second. I'm gonna have a go with that first. Only problem is I can't see a slash in the tire. I can't see where it's punctured sort of thing. So that'll be interesting. I'll give that a go and then we'll see if we can get to Adels Grove just down the road from here. So this is my flat, as you can see, just back left hand side, right in the sand. I've had a good look around. I can't really see what's puncturing it, but she's sitting pretty low. So I'll give it a crack at pumping it up before I try and actually change it. As I said, see if we can get down to Adels. And so this is what I've got. It's SCA Quick Fix Tyre Sealant. I've had it in my car for ages, but I've never actually had to try it. So we'll give it a go. So it seems to be working. You can basically see, I assume it's like a glue running out of the tube into the tyre, and obviously the pressurized air sort of blowing up my tyre there. I still can't see a puncture, but I mean there's that many tiny little cracks in my tyres at the moment that it could be literally anything. But I'm hoping this will work. I'll take it for that quick drive in a second. I'll pull up just down the road again. Okay, so I'm just at that, probably about the 85k mark, like I was saying, and this is the Adels Grove campground basically. So I'm going to keep driving through. As I said, I want to keep that tyre sort of moving. It should be all good. I still do have the spare if I need, so that's where you'll be camping if you do come to Adels Grove. It's about, I think, 15 k's more for me. Okay, so this is right into the national park now. It does say day visitor car park here. Park up with all the big four-wheel drives. And campground straight ahead. That is what we want. Okay, so I did obviously make it here into the national park. I've just set up. I'm in the trailer camping area, not the tent camping area, just because that's where it sort of came up for me to book. So I'm all good. This is my setup here. As you can see behind me, it's pretty dusty, and there are actually a fair few other campers here, but I think I've got a pretty good spot. As you can also see, I've actually got a tiny bit of shade, which most of the sites don't actually have. I think I'm just going to probably make some lunch from here. I'll quickly show you around the campsite and then go for a walk this afternoon. I've got amenities, showers, toilets, really close by essentially. Other few campers around my bit of shade, which I was talking about, which is really nice, basically not having much other shade around, and my setup, which is obviously not set up yet. Okay, so I have just quickly packed a backpack here, got some water and stuff so I can head out on this first walk. So I'll show you in a second where I want to go, but I want to do the lower lookout walk. So just to give you a quick look at the map, like I was saying, I am here basically where the campground is. That's your information sort of thing where you're coming in, and then I want to do this one here, this little loop sort of thing up to the lower gorge lookout. So this is just the normal day use sort of parking area that I'm walking through at the moment. Then you do have to come through like the, I don't know, campground office sort of thing as well. You walk past canoe hire, so I'll go sort of check that out. I'm not sure if you can see as well flying around, but there are locusts absolutely everywhere. When I was up in Normanton, Karumba, they were everywhere as well. So whether it's just at the moment or whether that's normally a thing, I really don't know. Okay, so I've made it down to the creek. I'm not officially on the walking track yet, but oh my gosh, look at this water, look at the colour of it. So it's beautiful and shady down here, but the water is unreal. Look how clear it is. If you look down in here, I've got fish just swimming around everywhere. Look at them. That kind of makes me nervous to swim, to be honest, but beautiful. They're just everywhere, and this is like within 1 minute of walking down to the creek. So the track down along the creek is basically just dirt. It follows literally along that really beautiful water, but super simple to follow. It looks like when it floods, obviously all of this would come up and be underwater through here. Check out as well while I'm walking these incredible palm trees. Look at the sheer size of them. So at the moment, the bridge across the creek over to these walking tracks is down. That's why I've been following the creek. So this is where I've come down. So obviously still got my shoes on, I got to ditch them. But this is where I'm going to cross. If you can see, there's a few bits I can jump on. It's only pretty shallow. So hopefully this will take me to the right spot. Following this one, the track does just move away from the water. Like if you can see the palms along there, that's obviously the water line. But I've got this beautiful ridge along here. Obviously that sun's sort of in the way. Beautiful red rock up there behind me. So I just want to show you, I noticed like a cave sort of split up in the rock up here. So I walked up the hill off the track, not very far, I'm not damaging anything. But I want to show you guys this massive big orange rock while I'm up here. I'm probably not going to show it really well on camera, but up through here there's a massive split in the rock. So up in here and it just goes up for ages. There's all these beautiful colours under the rock. It's just incredible. That's so cool. So I'll head on down here. Very, very dry. Lots of those locusts everywhere, but I'm assuming this is my lookout. So obviously not as high as I thought it would be, but still really clear to actually see over the water. How beautiful is this? So I am just going to stop here briefly by the water sort of before I head back up. I do want to take some photos sort of while I'm here, because I mean, I didn't walk this far not to take more photos of everything. So it's obviously nice and shady down here, which is good because it is super hot here in the gorge. I would actually love a swim. I didn't bring my swimmers with me, so I'm thinking tomorrow I might sort of do that. But also there's a heap of fish in there, so I'm like, maybe not, maybe I'll go for a kayak. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I am gonna like just have a wander by the water sort of thing, enjoy it while I'm down here, and then we'll walk back up. I've just trekked my way back over that last kilometre, almost essentially to where I crossed the river. The river is just down this side of me, but I've decided I'm going to keep going. There's still a fair bit of daytime left, and I'm going to try and get on the island stack walk, I think, and try and do that one as well. So there again, you've got the turn off for the botanical walk, which I'm not as interested in right now, just this island stack. So 150 meters, that sounds good to me. And as you can see, we do have a fair few stairs here, so a bit of a climb means a bit of a view. So that was actually a fair bit of elevation jump. I was more than I was expecting anyway to rise that quickly up to the island stack lookout. Now this is what I call a view. Have a look at that. And I'm so sorry about the sun reflection, but look down there at that gorge. That is just beautiful. Obviously that's the biggest section of the gorge where I'll head tomorrow. But down here you can see all through the campground. I think I'm parked somewhere just in there. I mean, you obviously can't tell exactly my car from up here. Then, or actually you've got the day use area just here. I think that's that main shed, and then this is their like council not council, sorry, National Parks Depot there. So from here I'm just gonna make my way on the Island Stack circuit, basically make it a round trip, say the rest of it while I'm already up here. This track does seem to bring you back to the water, and I think that is a really, really beautiful way to basically end a walk here, or end the afternoon here before the sun goes down over on this side of the gorge. Good morning everyone. So obviously I did get back here a little bit late last night, but I'm obviously back and all good, and I loved those walks yesterday. So I'm about to cook up just some super basic pancakes this morning, make some breakfast here at camp, and then I will head out for those second lot of walks basically on this upper side of the gorge. We'll head out there and have a look, hopefully be some absolutely beautiful views again today. So I will be today trying to fit in as many, I think, of those walks on this side of the park as I can, because as I was saying, I think before, I've only got 2 nights here. That's all I could book, so last night and tonight, and then it's going to take me a fair while to get out of here tomorrow because I'm going to have to take it really slow with that tyre. I did actually check the PSI again this morning, and it has deflated a little bit, so it's obviously got a slow leak there still, which is going to be a bit of a problem. I might see if I can pump it up, I guess, at Adels Grove before I head out. I'm not sure what I'll do there yet. I'll just have to assess it before I leave, but that's going to be a bit of a pain, unfortunately, for me. Oh shit. Oh, I sort of burnt the outside. Oh, it's always hard to get the first ones. Okay, so that is breakfast sorted. Obviously I had a whole heap of these strawberries. I wanted to use them up basically before they go off in my fridge, but that looks awesome. So I'm gonna have this and then head off basically down here to go for those walks, and I think I'm ready to go. So again, this track starts off following these beautiful big like red cliff faces. I would have to imagine that later on I will end up on top of them. So I have just reached the upper gorge lookout and I'm looking over it, and this one, let me tell you, is particularly good. You can see there is a few people actually kayaking down there, which you can obviously do. You can hire kayaks. I feel like that would be beautiful. But how is that for a view? So this spot I think has been really lovely, but I'm just about to start walking myself back up. Alright, so as you can see, I've just reached the falls section, and this is absolutely beautiful. There's a few people kayaking here. I'll show you in a minute some more swimming, and you can actually see the lookout up higher. So the gorge, or the creek, flows over here down these falls and into this lower section. But aren't these falls just absolutely beautiful? So you've got this little one flowing down over here, all the beautiful steps down, and then the bigger one here. I think there's another one over there. But if you were going to swim, the water is beautiful and clear. I think this would be the spot to do it. So I'm about 1 kilometre away from there at the moment. Obviously we've got some solar out the back, all the rangers buildings here, and then the campground and day use beyond that, plus the road in. So this is a pretty good lookout for that. If you want to get a lay of the land, have a look at the campground. Beautiful. Alrighty, so I'm just sitting back in camp. I actually did just go and have a cold shower because I really wanted to wash my hair because I needed it. But I also was thinking I'm not sort of planning on being back in camp early tonight. So I've been looking at my map now that I'm sitting down here. It probably was only about, maybe worked out at 8Ks this morning. I'm not really sure the exact distance because I like mixed and matched tracks, as you saw from all the signs. I was just looping them together. But I have 1 track left that I haven't even done yet. And then I've done all the all the marked tracks essentially in the national park. I'll give you a look, show you where I want to go, and then I'm going to head off on that one. It's supposed to be really good for like sunrise, sunset anyway. So I mean, at this point, if I'm late enough, it's not even going to matter. I'll just take a torch and walk back in the dark if it comes to it. Here in the national park map, you can obviously see where I pointed out to you. This was where I went yesterday. So you've got your 3 tracks. You've obviously got this one, which is the Wild Dog Dreaming and the Lower Gorge Lookout. That was the first track I did. I came back and did the Island Stacks Lookout, this one here, and then I did this botanical walk. And obviously, as I said here, this bridge here, this is what's down. That's where I had to cross over. That's why I needed to do all 3 of them in one go. But then guys, this morning I came back and did this loop circuit. That's what we obviously went through earlier. So I started here, I came up around the side, down this side as well, round. I didn't do this middle section, but it's only a joiner. Came round here, right to the upper gorge lookout, right back along the water, past the falls, past the last lookout, and back down into camp here. That leaves me this one track here, which is all one track. It's obviously a little bit longer than these ones over here, but it's on this side of the bridge, as you can see, and it's the last remaining track that I haven't done yet. So again, bag is packed, same gear, just I've got a flashlight this time. So just jumping onto the Constance Ridge track now. Head off this way while I think of it with all these locusts everywhere. It was really funny last night. I sort of shut my car basically to go to sleep, and or shut the doors anyway, and there's something jumping around. I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? Anyway, and I got one stuck in my car. Do you think I could bloody get it out? I don't know how it even got in there, but it was not leaving anytime soon. So that was a bit of a mission getting that out, but otherwise it was sort of nice last night. Pretty peaceful out here, like, isn't it? It's a pretty quiet area. Well, they weren't kidding about the fact that it's a ridge climb. It's literally straight up here. I'm headed up further behind me, but I just stopped already because it's bloody hot. I'm sweating already. It is really beautiful. I just wanted to, as I said, stop, but show you the view over here, because even this really quick little section, I've got a really good elevation view already. So this is the view. I've got this big ridge in front of me. This thing that you're looking at, the raised part, that's the Island Stacks. So when I walked up yesterday, I walked up on top of that and did a loop around the top of here. The campground's back in there. I've obviously walked right up here, but you can see all this really lush green area. That's the river, so I've moved away from it. Alright, back on track, headed up this way. There we go, there's my marker. I'll head on up here, I'll start to the left, see what I can find, see how long this one takes me. I walked around the corner and I found this big shady rock that I'm currently sitting on, and that's where I've stayed. The whole outback landscape, or the whole Savannah Gulf, Western Savannah Gulf region, it just goes forever, and it's just beautiful. And I mean, I can show you on here, but it's not the same. Like, you need to come and look at it. You need to experience it for yourself. I'm actually looking out at all of that. I drove through all of that. Like, you couldn't walk that. You can't see every piece of this national park. There's just so much of it. Like, it's so vast, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And I think this is the first spot I've come and I've sat up, and when I was walking around at Clem Walton, I did a hike out there, but before I got to Mount Isa sort of thing, and I was walking around in the outback country out there, and it was beautiful, and I was looking over everything. I was like, wow, it's massive. It's once you get yourself on these high peaks like this, where you're not looking specifically at something, but it's just, you're looking at everything and you're so a part of it. I just think that's so incredible. Basically, this national park borders on the Northern Territory, and this is a big national park, but looking out here at all the Spinifex woodland and the hills and everything, and it's just the vastness of the landscape out here, and the red rocks and the little savannah, the gorges and everything. That's what I pictured the Northern Territory to be. So I'm yet to experience that, but if it's anything like this, I'll be very happy, I'm for sure. I don't know, I think one day, if you haven't already, you need to get out here and see it for yourself. So there we have it. This is my view. You can follow those ridges all the way along. The shadows have sort of grown a bit now, but you can see just the creek the entire way. You can make it out, and that's what I find incredible from here. You can actually see the road, like I was saying. You can see it over there. I've been watching the people come and go, but it just looks so incredibly vast. I think I've seriously got this place all to myself. I'm so lucky. But I've been up here for a while now. There's no one up here. no one else on the tracks. I don't know, maybe everyone's, I guess, back down on camp, back down in the gorge. Obviously the gorge is the popular spot, so I mean, I'll spend a little bit longer. I'm just watching the sun, and then I think now I best start making my way around the rest of the loop and get over that other side so I can find a good spot to watch the sunset. I can sort of see it going down from here, so I think since I'm up here, I've waited this long already, I'll catch that sunset and head back down. So definitely not quite the sunset I was hoping for, but still beautiful, so I think I'm just going to sit up here and watch it anyway. Alrighty, good morning everyone. So obviously I did make it back fine to camp last night. I'm here. It was a little bit dark walking back after that sunset hike. There was a fair bit of wildlife down by the water, like a few kangaroos and everything. So this morning I am gonna go for a kayak. It's a little bit cloudy, pretty overcast, which is, I don't know, it's a bit of a shame for the watercolor, but it might actually be really nice, like kayaking basically in the shade, because it was so hot to hike yesterday. But I figured I've still got all this pancake mix, so I might as well use that up this morning, make a bit more breakfast before I head off. Then as you can see, I've obviously got my swimmers on. I will go for a bit of a swim because it's so hot, but I'll jump in that kayak and see if I can do that kayak loop. So that's about 6k's return. I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm going to try and do the upper gorge, but I'll just see as I go what it's like and how far I end up getting. So I've just packed up, moved my car over to like the day parking area because I need to be out of my campsite this morning, and it's literally just started raining, so probably because I put my swimmers on, but gotta love that. So I'm gonna head down and get the kayak now anyway. Won't matter too much since I'm on the water, but I'll jump in there, see what the water's like, see if it's still really pretty down there. Alrighty everyone, so as you can see, I did make it out onto the water. I've got my super stylish life jacket on and I've got a blue kayak to match. Now I am just on the gorge. If I flip it around, I'll show you. I have paddled a fair way down already, so I'm almost at the gorge section here. So for some reason this morning he said the kayaks were just about booked out because people had been booking from Adels Grove. Obviously I couldn't do that because I wasn't staying at Adels Grove, so I was lucky I got like the last single one. As you can see, that's what I'm in. There are a fair few like double or triple canoes though as well, but I'm very lucky. I really like this little one. So as you can probably see, there are a fair few other people down on the water this morning. This little boat coming up in front of me is actually one of the tour boats that go from Adels Grove to the gorge. So if you don't want to basically kayak it yourself, you can just get on a boat tour and do that if you're feeling lazy or if you're not feeling capable. So it actually turned out really nice as well. Having that bit of like shade cover on the water just makes it a bit cooler, a little bit overcast, which is really nice. The water doesn't sort of glow that real nice green, unfortunately, but it is still beautiful being down in the gorge and having that bit of shade. I would rather end the day not completely sunburnt. I think that would be nice. So this is right in the gorge now, and obviously you can look up at these big beautiful rock walls all around. Just gorgeous down here. So yesterday when I was looking out, I was up here walking along the edge of this, coming back to camp down there. So I'm just at the first waterfall. I've sort of pitched myself up on a pandanus tree, but I'm just overlooking it here, and it's absolutely beautiful. Just right in the water. You can see down how clear the water is where all the pandanus is growing under the water, but I wouldn't want to swim in this. Like, that looks awful spiky. If you look at the leaves here, awful spiky stuff, but beautiful little one for the first waterfall. So there's a second little fall just in through there. I'll see if I can get around the other side of it, have a better look. So again, third little waterfall here and a fourth one up further, but for some reason the water seems to look a lot dirtier this morning, like all the little bubbles on it. I don't know, it just seemed to look clearer yesterday. It's just on top, it seems to be pretty mucky this morning. See this sort of step? You somehow find a way to like lift your kayak up over these steps and onto that railing up there. So I have, as you can see, just managed to get my kayak up onto this grass section where I've got to like drag it across to the next part. But I mean, to be honest, me by myself and you have to lift it up this big sort of step. That's sort of not the easiest thing to do on my own. So this is the next section of gorge. That's where you sort of come in from. These people just sort of help me push it back in. But it's a bit of a mission getting over that grass. That was really interesting. And then the falls are obviously down just behind here, so you can't kayak much further past that. But I will do this top section now and keep heading on up this way. So this section of the gorge, at least for the moment, is a lot more open. You've still got exactly the same pandanus everywhere, and I'm really surprised, but I have not seen like a single fish or turtle or anything right up near me. And I just guess I'm surprised by that, because yesterday, the entire time that I was down by the water, I was seeing little fish and everything everywhere. Okay, so some people are just past that if you do go down this channel, they actually just saw a freshwater crocodile. So I'll see if I can get myself down in here, if I can find a crocodile while I'm pedaling around. I feel like that would be pretty cool, pretty exciting to see. It's obviously like a lot shallower here as well. But I'll see, we should be able to get down there. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, so I'll give you a better look. So just here on the log in front of me, there's a little freshie. He's just laying there, relaxing in the sun. Let's go a little bit closer. I don't really want to box him in, but I want to give you a better look at that guy. Very cool. So I'll keep heading down. That goes to show they're obviously in here. This guy's not very big, but pretty cool to see. Alrighty, so I am just going to keep going. I'm going to paddle up a bit further, sort of along the creek. I don't think it goes much further, so I'll have to go to there and then do a loop around back where I've come. So I think this must be almost just about as far as you can go. I can start to hear the little rapids here, but as well, I'm seeing a lot more fish down in the water here, which was what I was saying I was expecting to see over closer to the falls, because that's what I saw yesterday. So I'll turn myself around here. I'll see if I can get a better look at a few of those little fish for you. But I'm not going to go any further down there. I don't think that's really going to get me anywhere. So if you have a look here, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see just the little fish in the water, like literally right next to the boat. That's crazy. Right here, yeah. Really cool. Just right next to the boat. Alright, well I will head myself back out of here. I'll head back down towards that middle gorge section. Just as I float back past as well to show you guys, he obviously hasn't moved much, but as you can see, sort of opened up his mouth there. Must be getting hot, sort of sitting on the log. It is pretty hot out here now. I'll just head back through this narrow section, obviously trying to avoid as many of those rocks as I can. Back through here, and there is like a little bit of current flowing this way, making it nice and easy for me. It's sort of pushing me this way anyway. So I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, but by the time I get back, I'm going to be thoroughly sunburned, which is a bit of a pain, but it's really nice out here. I am sort of hoping when I go back to like jump in the water quickly and just have a cool down, because as soon as that cloud burnt off, it's just been absolutely boiling out here. I'm so glad it wasn't like that the entire time. And just back now at where I started from. Alright guys, as you can see, I have just jumped myself back into the car and it is boiling in here, so I've got the aircon pumping, but that said, it's boiling outside too. I did just go and have another cold shower, so my hair's like literally dried already. But so I did finish my kayak trip just before this and obviously returned it back to the start. Now I think it did end up taking me a little over 3 hours. Not because you need that long, but because I sort of made my way relatively quickly up. Obviously saw the crocodile, like saw the fish at the end, hanging out at the falls, and then basically floated my way back, like because coming downstream is obviously a lot easier to do that. So probably about 3 hours was very comfortable to do it. I think putting it in the 2 hours would have been really pushing it a little bit more than I would have liked though. So if you do come and it's not particularly busy, like not a holiday period, make sure you do ask the guy and just be like, hey, can I just have it for a little bit longer? And he was really chill about that. So that was really, really good, especially with the one person kayak. It made it easier for me instead of having to like lug around one of those like really big ones, because I wouldn't have been able to lift it over that step that I showed you. So about the 3 hours for that, it's, I don't know, it's probably about 1 o'clock now, something like that. I've been hanging out for a little while again here now, and I'm just about to head out of here because, as I said, I did want to leave myself plenty of daylight time basically to do that, and I just don't want to risk anything else happening and being stuck out on that road at night. So I am about to leave. I'm still at the day use area, basically at the gorge. I'm just about to head that 10 k's or 15 or whatever it is through to Adels Grove, see if I can get some air there, and then see, fingers crossed, that it's all good back to Gregory now. Okay, so I'm just heading into Adels Grove. Obviously, as you saw, I didn't pull in here on the way, so I'm not really sure where I'm headed, but I'll head through anyway, see what I can find, and see if I can get this tire pumped up. Alright, I just had a quick look around. I expected it to be a bit like a fuel station here. Nothing like that. Like, it's dirt, there is nothing here. I assume the campground is very similar to what is actually at the national park. So I spoke to the lady in the office and she said, go find the man in the shed. To fill you in, I just found the man in the shed who was not very happy to see me at all. So I literally had to go looking for him. He was not in the shed. Obviously, they're very busy. Like, I would say he's a mechanic come handyman for Adels Grove. So he was not very happy to see me, and you can't really blame him. It's a Sunday at the moment. He just basically said, look, workshop's shut, come back tomorrow. And I said, no, please hear me out. I just want air. Like, I literally just want the air compressor. And he's like, all right, give me a minute. So thank you very much to them for that. That's all I needed. So obviously, if you are planning on coming to Adels Grove, like, you're remote, you're gonna have to wait if you want things done. So if you want mechanical work or anything like that, don't expect it on a weekend. Even the sites, like from what I've read, the reviews, I can't give my own review on it without staying here, but the reviews for the national park are a lot better, let me put it that way, just so you know. And the prices, it's about $40 for a site here that's no power and like water, like non-potable water. So I mean, $6 to stay in the national park for the same thing. Like, I think I'd pick the national park if you can book it in advance. So anyway, he did lend me the air. I've just pumped up my tires, so fingers crossed, just about to head off from here. I'll see how we go. That's the only thing I can do for now without having to change a tire. I've done the best I can. Anyway, I'm about to head off. I'll keep you updated. And I do have another story to tell you as well while we're driving, because I think you might be interested in that. Right, so a quick little story time while I head out of here. Obviously, I'm still on the good road, so this is lovely. But in case you guys were wondering, you may remember at the start of the video, I actually mentioned that a lady had told me in Gregory that she wouldn't take my car in here, and she was pretty disapproving of that. And I said, I think at the time, like, it's probably good advice, or what most people would say. So she wasn't at all wrong to say that. I just don't tend to listen to people when they tell me not to go places. So I don't know, you've got to know your own limits, I think, and you've got to push things just a little bit. So anyway, turns out she and her husband were camping in the national park as well, and we ended up getting on really, really nicely. So at first I was a little bit like, oh man, this lady probably, like, she's probably not gonna like me very much, because she didn't like the idea of me driving my car in there. But she came in basically to see me once I got to the national park and checked that I got there. So we had a few things in common, and she told me a bit more about herself, and I said a bit more about me traveling and where I'd been, and we did end up getting on really well, to the point where she actually asked the ranger for me if I could stay in their site with them off her own bat, so that I could stay extra nights. They had booked for 5 nights, and then they were willing to share with me purely so that I could stay and experience more. And I thought that was so, so beautiful. Like, what a kind gesture for her to do that. Basically what ended up happening was the ranger did, I wasn't there for it, but by the sound of it, more or less say, no, because you've only booked online for 2 people on your site, you can't obviously have a third person stay there. But you're somewhere, like, I've got SOS everywhere out here. Like, I can't go online and book that site now, and once the site's booked, there's no way to go in and change how many people you actually want to stay on the site. So I just found that a little bit pointless. Like, there were other people who'd cancelled, there were literally empty sites in the park, and I felt that, like, a little bit disappointing that people were literally missing out because people hadn't cancelled and then other people weren't allowed to stay. I
just hate this bloody heat. That's what I hate.
Did you just do a tyre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think coming off the edge of the bitumen.
It's a bit rough, isn't it?
These are a bit big, these tyres.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think, have you got them all loose?
Yeah. Thanks for stopping.
You're
Oh,
very
no worries.
kind.
As long as you're alright.
No,
Yeah, thank you.
Where are you heading for?
Just to Gregory.
Yeah, I think that's as far as we'll go to.
Yeah, that's alrighty. So I made it. I am actually back in Gregory. I'm at the playground to be specific, if you can see that behind me. But this was a nice shady spot to stop. I'm actually right beside the road here, and my little car's parked just over there. But to let you guys know, obviously I did make it back. I did just check the tyres, and they're all still up. They're all still good. So hopefully that other couple I passed on, everyone else out there driving, is still all good. But thank you guys as always for joining me. I do hope to see you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like for me, and I will have some more content up for you just as soon as I figure out where I'm going, I guess.